Episode 176 of the Taylor Timothy Show. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about how to create a podcast from start to finish. So let's not waste any more time and dive in. So let's dive into how to create a podcast from start to finish. So for all of you listeners out there, there's going to be a little bit of visuals going on, so you might need to come back to this over on YouTube. I'm going to be sharing my screen and really diving into the process of how to launch your podcast from start to finish. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So the very first thing that we need to do in creating a podcast, what I believe, is we need to create some sort of introduction. So like in the beginning of this video, there's an introduction of things and phrases that I believe, become better, be successful, entrepreneurship, online marketing, basically taglines about me and my brand. And I also have a great song. Right? A little catchy tune. And then basically at the end of it, it shares my website, taylortimothy.com, that's focused around my brand. Now, you might say, Taylor, that thing is fancy dancy. Well, guess what, guys? I have some tips and tricks I'm going to share with you that will make it so these introductions are affordable and you can get them done in a timely manner. So, let's dive in on the screen. So diving in on the screen here, the first thing I want to show you guys is this tool I use called elements.envato.com. Now, this place is full of digital media templates, audio, websites. The list goes on and on. The subscription is $10 a month. And basically you get unlimited downloads of all these graphic templates and things like that. So I'm clicking on these video templates. And if you just wanted to do an introduction and you are proficient in After Effects, basically you have all these introductions here that you can use to help build your entire introduction. Honestly, mine, I went in, changed the titles that I wanted to, changed the background to videos that I liked, and I downloaded a song I liked here and put it on the bottom of the track, synced up with the video, and that's how I created my introduction. Now, you might say, Taylor, well, I'm not proficient in After Effects. Well, I got you. We're going to dive into the next thing of this introduction thing. The next thing you can do is you can go to Fiverr. You could download this template, give them the audio, give them the video files, and tell this guy overseas to build you this introduction. Now, yes, it's going to cost you a little bit of money, but you're going to get an amazing introduction that's going to help you look more professional and proficient. And you say, well, I don't like Fiverr. Well, option number 3, you can use Upwork. You can use overseas people to help you build this introduction as well. Now you might say, well, I don't want an introduction. Well, that's your own fault if you're that person. I personally like introductions. I personally think the introductions help you look professional. So there are some simple tips and tricks right there that you can do to create an amazing podcast introduction for your video. And for your podcast. Next thing that we're going to talk about is picking a host. So you understand what a host is. Basically, it's a server online that you need to upload these files to that are going to then spread the message to all these other podcast platforms. So let's dive in on the screen. So here we have Buzzsprout. I'm a huge believer in Buzzsprout. There's tons of other platforms out there that can host your podcast. But the reason why I love it is right here with these directories. Basically, you have all these directories: Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts. I don't even know what podcast index is. You have Amazon Music, and I'm not going to read the rest of them. But you have all of these places that all you have to do when you upload your podcast and you start it and you build your profile over here, all you have to do is go in here, click connect. If you don't have a username or login to that platform, you'll create one and it'll connect it for you. And that's as simple as that. So, huge fan of Buzzsprout. Highly recommend Buzzsprout. At the beginning of this podcast, I used SoundCloud, and in my opinion, it was not good at all. And I did more research, and a lot of your big podcasts out there use Buzzsprout. And I just recommend using it. It's like $10 a month or something like that. And I just recommend using Buzzsprout. So that's what you got to do. Create a Buzzsprout account and do that. I don't get paid to say that. You're going to notice these are not affiliate links or anything. Like, this is just what I believe. So go create a Buzzsprout account. Next thing we're going to go over is good audio. You've got to have good audio. It has to sound good. In my opinion, audio is more important than visuals when it comes to a podcast. If you have crackly audio, people aren't going to listen to it. They're going to get frustrated with it, and you're going to lose them. They're not going to stick around for very long. So in this case, I have this nice microphone here, right? Sounds great. Sounds good. Super important. Now you might say, well, Taylor, I actually don't want to record stuff like you. I want to record on the go. I got you. So what I would recommend is using this recorder like this, H4n Pro handy recorder. Basically, you can plug 2 microphones into it. You can set this in the middle of a table. You can upload it you can record it to a USB and an SD card, not a USB. Record it to an SD card, and you have your audio, 2 mics. You and your other guy can sit there and chat, and you'll get some great audio from it. So if I ever have to record on the go, that's what I use. So we're going to dive into the screen. Over here, I'm just going to show you the mic that I have right here for my computer over on Amazon. Okay, so we're here over on Amazon. Now, this is the mic that I personally got. I watched YouTube videos on it, and this is the one that I found was the cheapest for the best bang for your buck. I use older mics like this one, and honestly, the audio just wasn't as good. And so I switched over to this. I feel like the audio is way better now. So I used to use something like this. Yes, you could use something like this. It's cheaper. I think this was like $20. But like I said, I'd rather just buy the right thing the first time and call it good. But the truth is, I didn't do it right the first time, and then I have way too many mics now just for no reason. But now we have good audio. So next thing we're going to talk about, we are going to be talking about having solid video. So we're going to dive again over on the computer, and we're going to share my screen. I'm going to show you some cameras, lighting, and tools that you can do to get good visuals. So this is the light that I have. It's Kino Flow. Now you might say, Taylor, that is an expensive light. That is really expensive. I can't believe you paid that much. Well, the truth is I got hooked up, did not spend that much money, but this is the light that I use. Now, another option you can use is something like this. If I had to go on Amazon and spend $80, these are the lights that I probably would buy. They're just simple lights, soft boxes, and you're going to get some decent light from them that's nice and soft. If I had to purchase some lights, these are probably the ones that I would get. Now, camera-wise, I personally use the Sony a7 III. That's what I'm recording on right now. With the Tamron 28-75, and I'm shooting at 35 millimeters. This camera is approximately like, I don't know, 3 feet away from me. Something like that. That's what I use. And some people might say, well, Taylor, I don't want to spend that much. Well, another option, you could go with like a Panasonic camera. That one's $1,500. You could also even go down to like the A63, the A6000, which is a Sony camera with a lens for $650. You're going to get a really solid image. It's not going to be 4K. But honestly, it's a good camera. And like most people probably aren't going to know the difference. Now, I enjoy photography, video stuff sometimes. So like, yeah, that's why I have a nicer camera. But the truth is you could go this route and be totally fine. The truth is you could probably use nice light boxes in your phone and you're still going to get like better quality than most people. Like I said, the most important part is the audio. Now, if you want to record like I'm doing, then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to get this Camlink 4K. Basically, that's going to plug into your computer. It's going to make the connection from your camera to your computer so you can record these things like I am. So that's basically like the equipment layout. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the software. So like I said, the next thing we're going to be talking about is the software. Now, what I use is what's called OBS Studio. Now, OBS Studio is a free software. You don't have to pay for it. You download it, and it can help you do all these cool things. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm just kind of give you guys a small rundown of how OBS Studio works, how I use it for my YouTube channel, for this podcast as well. So let me share my screen. Okay, so we went into infinity space, right, with this, because I'm sharing my screen. You see there's multiple things going on. But what's awesome about this, to give you guys an understanding of how OBS Studio works, is literally I'm going to click this full screen button and it's going to show you guys full screen, but that's what happens. It's a click of a button of, hey, now I'm full screen. And then the next thing I can do, I'm going to go back to my screen here. I can click on this introduction and bam, it's playing for you guys right now. So it just played for you guys. You guys had an understanding of basically that's how it works. So I'm going to pull up OBS here again. You can see my face. You know, now I'm down here at the bottom right, and we have this entire screen that we're sharing. Now I can change these displays if I want. I just have to click in here, change it. The other thing you can do is you can control your audio. You can just control different things there. You can control how the scenes transition. I'm gonna prefer like the hard cut, but if you wanted, you could do like a fade. Then the last thing I'm just gonna show you is you guys can record. And basically what happens is right after I press stop recording, this podcast is gonna be in a file and it's ready to rock. And I can go straight into editing. So that is why I personally use OBS Studio. So to give you guys an idea of the process, let's say you record it on a camera. Now you have all of your audio and everything on the SD card. Then you recorded everything onto an external recorder. Now what you're gonna have to do is take the SD card out of here, and then you're gonna have to take both of them. You're gonna have to upload them to your computer. Then from there, you're going to have to take them into editing. Then you're going to have to match the audio. Again, it just goes on and on. But here, what's amazing is I press record and it's ready to rock and roll. So that is how I would recommend for someone to start and create their own podcast. If you guys have any questions, post in the comments below. If you guys have any other tips or tricks, the goal of all the content I create is for people to learn, progress, and grow. Post those in the comments below if I'm missing something. Like I said, I'm always here to learn as well. Other than that, guys, don't forget to smash that like button over on YouTube and subscribe to this podcast for more content like this. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Other than that, hopefully you guys have an amazing day, night, whatever you're watching this, and peace.